What is going on, guys? Thank you for coming out tonight. I know it's late for many of you. Shout out to Romy. Yes, Chris. I am back for more commentary. We're going to talk about player awareness. What's going on, Carlos? What's going on, A916 Kid? Damien? Real CMD? CMB. Yeah, man, it's late. It's 11:45. I've been up since 7 o'clock working. Hello, USGU. Gray Fox. So, give you guys a couple minutes. Well, I guess not give you guys any time. You're already here. Give other people a few minutes. Everyone loves that sign-off, man. It's definitely unique to me. Hello, Oklahoma State CF. So for anybody watching on delay, probably 5 more minutes. As far as Maximum Football guys, I even believe they came out today and said that, they are going to submit for certification, and once that comes back, they'll be able to give a date as to when the game will come out, and I'm pretty sure all the independent games are going to go that way. So, as I said, the good news will be when you hear news, you'll hear news. It'll be solid, I'm sure. As far as when those dates are given, you'll know. Hello, Kirk. Hello, music promoter John Cards. When is Gridiron Champions coming? It's a great question, man. Jacob Barger, hello. It's going well, Kirk. I hope it's going good for you, too. I've reached out to the Gridiron Champions guys, man. I mean, they haven't got back to me, so the last video I did is pretty much where things are now, so... I would like to think the positive of that situation would be that they've learned from a lot of mistakes and they can come out and either express to the community the promise of a game with a set time frame or the remorse of not being able to complete what they thought they could and give people their money back. I haven't slept one in a long time, Bradbury. RJ Bellin, if you want to go to my Twitter and pull my email, man, if you guys have some screenshots to share, I'll be glad to put them up on the channel. Yes, Josh, it was pretty good. I always like when the MMA guys win, so I was very happy to see Jamalers win. Jack, my voice probably sounds different because I'm using a different microphone than I normally do. I'm using my podcast microphone. I'm in a much different room, man. I don't record a lot in this family room area in my house. That's what it was, Chris. Exactly. John, I appreciate all the positive words there. I was getting kind of backed up on comments. When's the last time I truly enjoyed a football game? I enjoy playing 2K8 a lot. I wish that I could figure out how to stream with a PS3. Lincoln, gameplay is coming, man. I will say real quick, if anybody hasn't looked at what Cal Anderson's put out, I don't know how that game is progressing so fast, man. He literally went from like 8-bit to 64-bit in 3 weeks. So the images he just put out are really solid. I don't know if they're going to stay that solid once they put players on the field, but I was rather impressed at how, how advanced things got so soon. Yeah, don't forget, RJ. When you have something, man, I'll be glad to share it with everybody. I don't have any predictions, Young Kings. All right. I think that's enough time. So want to share with you guys. I'm going to set my phone down so I can't read anything, unfortunately, if you guys start to post anything. The last one I'll answer is what I think about the Packers. I think the Packers, I think they have a very good shot of winning the division. They've got a great quarterback. I think really they just need to shore their defense up. They've struggled at that at times, and consistency going through coaching changes is always a big deal. So it'll be interesting to see how the chemistry works out for them. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at this play action against this Browns defense. We're going to really pay attention to how these linebackers play zone in the middle of the field. Sorry about that. That might have been loud. I accidentally bumped my controller. So here's what I want you guys to understand when we have players clearing across. Just pay attention to number 53 and number 58. Okay, so we're going to watch how they play this zone. Okay, do we understand what's happening here? They drop back to their zone just like Madden is known to do, and these players stand there, okay? Have any tight end that just happens to be Ebron here comes across. Look at that. It's first play, guys. Come on, just my game, right? How do we through each other? I mean, I don't know. That's strange to me. Nobody else sees this stuff. It's literally the first thing that happens to me, right? Turn up field. I tried to hurdle animations like we talked about in the one video that you guys have supported so much. I think we're about to get 50,000 views on it with Adrian Peterson on his. You can just see nobody can interact. It's actually, if you really learn to analyze Madden and look at Madden, what you have happen is animation sequences where you can actually see the game stop them. So when he's in the air, there's no more interactions. So he basically just gets, dumped out on his head here. So we're going to do this a couple times. He didn't drop it, man. If it was Kirk, if that would have been a catch, he would have dropped it. But once he catches it, he's okay. So we're going to go through this a couple times, and I just want you guys to understand, what's going on here with these linebackers. And we're going to make a real dramatic change to what we're going to do offensively. And before I do that, I'm actually going to run back to you guys. There's one. There's Eric Ebron being simulation. Even clapped his hands a little bit, blamed the gloves when it was done, right? That's what you like to see. So you can see pretty much, I would love him to bust through one of those 6 tackles and get in the end zone. As a Lions fan, you probably are mad as anything at Eric Ebron. I would be. Trust me, I'm very difficult as a fan. When Philip Dorsett and Moncrief left the Colts, I wasn't rooting for them to do good at all. I was like, all right, you go be who you are. Don't give anybody else any value because you sure didn't give us any. All right, let's go back here, take one big look at this, and then I'm gonna ask you guys what you think the adjustment here should be given the changes. So the pocket we haven't talked about a lot is okay. But again, we're taking a look, for anybody just getting in here, taking a look at these two defenders. Got a linebacker and a linebacker. And basically they just let Ebron roll. It's no big deal. Even when he crosses their zone. They just stand still. He gets way out of open field, then they react. Probably have a really nice spear here. One of the things I talked about in the video with Adrian Peterson. Once a player leaves his feet, there's a lot of weightlessness. I'm not saying that Eric Ebron isn't always going to, smash through a corner or a safety, but I doubt he's going to go through 2 of them like that. All right. So, you guys know the routes here, and you know the concept, and you know what the defense is doing. And I don't know why I went back into replay, because I didn't mean to. I meant to hit resume. So, if we understand what's happening here, if I take T.Y. Hilton and run him across the field the same way I did Jack Doyle, Eric Ebron, by a show of ones in the live chat, meaning he's the number one receiver. How many people feel that those two linebackers should change what they're doing to cover T.Y. Hilton? I got 2 1s. That's enough for me. I got 3, 4, 5. This is 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, you get the pitch. Ain't nobody said anything other than a 1. So let's roll T.Y. Hilton over. We're not going to do anything aggressive. I'm not going to give him, a pure slant or a double move or anything like that. We're just going to run him across. So if we're talking about AI that matters and players that actually know what's going on the field, X Factor superstars, I don't care how you want to go about it. But now you guys are just getting silly. There's a whole bunch of 2s, and I didn't mention 3, 4, 5, 6. So here's the interesting thing. When he runs across, he actually runs almost more into the heart of this defense. Now, what's very interesting is Kirksey actually goes to adjust. He goes like he's going to cover, but if you watch, when the ball's released, he jumps right back to that zone, and when he jumps back to that zone, he actually catches Mitchell constantly. This constantly happens running this route combination. So it's almost like the game realizes that he needs to go out and cover T.Y. Hilton, but then as soon as he gets to the end of the zone, he has to stop. And these two have no collision detection, so they just run into each other, and it just makes it easy. Right across, open up. So we're gonna do this again, and you're probably gonna see that continually happen. So there is the design route, just for clarity. There's alternating the route to T.Y. That time, he actually got stuck on T.Y. So we'll go back and we'll watch what happened there. I don't think pass interference is really something that Madden has right, so it'll be interesting to see. Actually, if he chucks him, that's really good. That actually is really good. I take that back. It was not the linebacker, though. Or was it? Was it Kirksey? I can't tell. It was. Look at that. He does a really good job. He comes over. He actually, I think, goes out to Doyle, reads the quarterback, chucks him, but then doesn't really follow through. He runs over, goes back into his zone. This is what has to stop. This right here. Nothing back behind. Why? Why would you have a linebacker just sit here like this for the whole run play? So we'll do it again. That time, he went to go clear, but then he gets pulled back into his zone at the last second. You can actually watch it happen. It's a little easier to see in the replay, but again, like I've kind of talked to you guys about, once you train yourself on what to look for, you can see that flash of movement. So right here, he's open. He's got a linebacker behind him. So as long as I pass lead, and you can see he just goes to pull back into that zone, all it takes is that little stutter, and that's it. Before we saw him do that stutter and clear out the corner for me. So I'm going to do it again without moving T.Y. We're going to keep T.Y.'s original route, and we're going to run it back on Eric Ebron. And then we'll take another look at it. And you can see, even though I get sacked, the defensive tackle can think that he's great and smart, but every bit about behind him isn't doing what they should be doing. So this is almost broke my table. This right here is something we talked about yesterday as far as pass protection. Marlon Mack comes up here and just has to help, right? You can't be, even though this is a really good formation of the pocket, you can't be this far up. You can't have players going back like this to help. What is this going to do? Who programs stuff like this into the game? The line of scrimmage is the 30-yard line. Who is telling the halfback to stay at the 35 when the quarterback's at the 40? Who is telling a lineman to run backwards and then stand there. Even though we find someone to block, more often than not, they don't. So to go over here and talk about what happens with the route, I have to get on Ebron here, and they're all clustered together. Again, very similar situation as we just saw. No matter how Kirksey reads this, you've got 53 that literally stands shallow zone still. Even if Kirksey reads it right and actually is going to pursue out of his zone, he can't get out of the zone. So he literally stops and goes back over. And again, there's no need for this. There's nothing back here. There's nothing down here that has any logic other than just, I have to go back to my zone. I must retreat to my zone. And that's what actually gets him open. Now we'll go back. We'll do it again. And you can literally just, like clockwork, if Doyle actually sets that block up right and Ebron's a little faster, you're going to get a touchdown every single day. For whoever just talked about what do you expect him to do, here's the thing. They have to have some type of targeting. So this is the problem. If we really want to get ticky-tack, that's an illegal lineman downfield. That penalty is not in the game, okay? So you have to have smart programming logic. You can't have a lineman with no assignment run forward 2 yards and then moonwalk backwards 5. It does not make any sense. If Marlon Mack has no one to block, that's okay. But he can't just stand here the whole time while other players lose containment while this happens. How many videos have I done live where you guys have seen, the piggyback blocking leads to situations like this? So all of a sudden, you've got animation transitions that can't mesh together, and players just get stacked. If you actually look at what happens here, do they actually shift assignments mid? No, they don't. They maintain assignments. They maintain assignments through each other blocking. I'm going to have to, this is going to have to be the thumbnail, I think. I think this might have to be the thumbnail. I don't know when it's the most dramatic. I mean, it's pretty dramatic image, I think, no matter what I do. Right? I mean, that's probably the best one of the week. What do you guys think? Is that the most dramatic one of the week? Like, I like how the height difference is there. There you go. So, I mean, honestly, these are just casualties, right? These are just casualties of gameplay. This is not what we're here to talk about. It's just what happens. So we'll go back and we'll just watch this a couple times. Uh-oh. I think that went through the defensive back. I have a feeling that went through the defensive back. Before we look at it, with a show of ones, how many people think that went through the defensive back? Yeah, I have a feeling before we look at this, it definitely has the appearance that it went through him. Let's take a look. 33. How come nobody would put 21? If you're going to put a number in there that's not the number I'm asking for, you'd think it would be 21. Seems like it'd be the respectful thing to do. Well, somebody else put another number in there, but we'll leave that number alone for right now. Now, I don't know if you guys are getting better or not, but the fact of the matter is, even if that ball didn't go through that defensive back definitely goes through him. So, I don't know. Actually, I take that back. I mean, depending on how nitpicky you want to get, that is definitely his hand touching that pass. So, for those that are just joining, they probably have no idea how off the rails this has gotten. I'll recap what we're looking at here. It's Eric Ebron running across the two zones with the linebackers that don't really move or jump back. There's a really good Oh, fumbled it. Fumbled it. The whole Browns team is down there, too. So, to show you guys real quick what happens here, the blocking is just a disaster, guys. Again, whoever just mentioned, what do you want them to do if they don't move back? Target block. Okay? Realistically, right now, you've got 5 to block 3, and you've got a halfback to chip. Why are we having any problems? Pop Warner doesn't have problems. And Anthony Costanzo, 2 of the most respected linemen in the league. When I talk about how good they are, we know that they're vested, respected offensive linemen. If they were free agents today, would more than 5 teams be calling them? Absolutely. You've got both of them standing here, okay? While Myles Garrett, of all players, Myles Garrett chucks Costanzo out of the way, and what does Marlon Mack do? Try to just end his career on a chop block. And to his point, he's doing that because he's running in place. So maybe he's just bitter about it. Who knows? You don't see that happen in real football. You do not see 2 decent linemen do nothing while it's all on the smallest player on the field practically, Marlon Mack, to knock the knees off a defensive end to keep him from getting to the quarterback. So anyway, before we get too involved with that, what we're looking at here is Kirksey and number 53, how they play their zones. There's a little bit of deviation here, but basically 53 does the same thing every time. He runs down here, he stands still, he lets everybody clear out, and then he reacts. Back here, you've got number 58. Sometimes he'll run back and stand in line with him, but most of the time he does that. Sometimes he goes out like he's going to care about Ebron, like he's vested in that route, but then he jumps back and pulls out and goes to where he was. This is generally the position right here that they've been staying in. So now that you've seen that happen a couple times, what we've elected to do is pull T.Y. Hilton across the field in the hopes that pulling my number 1 receiver across is going to have those linebackers react to T.Y. Hilton. Superstar player, what are they called now? I always X factors, whatever you want to call it. You've got the best receiver on the team crossing the middle of the field now. Pay attention to what he's doing. But as always with Madden, you just don't have that. Left him wide open, as a matter of fact. So when we go back and look at this, again, same thing every single time. I don't mind that he's in his zone right now, but you got to move. There's nothing else going on. I don't mind that he's moving. I actually like that he's moving down, but you can't get to here and then stop. For those that weren't here early, he stopped before and cut the corner out of the pursuit because they ran into each other. So we'll take a look at this real quick a couple more times. And just to show you going from this to that, and yet the reactions all stay the same. That time they both rolled and stopped. I can't wait till he starts doing breakdowns. I'm telling you. So again, just for the whole perspective here, pass blocking, you tell me that Marlon Mack isn't more detrimental to this pass block than helpful. You ask any halfback, any fullback, what you do in this situation, and he is going to tell you, you chip. You lunge out and you try to knock that defensive end back in to the lineman. Let him get control. Get him off balance. In Madden, this doesn't happen. This happens. It's like he's passing him off, like they're playing zone, like they're playing zone coverage, and they're on offense. Over here is okay. Like all this pretty much is decent, what you would expect. I wish these animations were a bit longer, but it is what it is. At least I roll out to the pressure, but Costanzo goes chasing after him. Where is he pursuing to right now, by the way? I guess he gets tripped. I can accept that. But what you can't accept is this. I mean, in this case, this is the first time he must know we're talking about him now. This is the first time he's moved all night. So he rolls over, then he stops. I mean, the simultaneous reactions just have to go. Did they switch on us? They did. They switched on us. They inverted themselves. Because number 53 was down in front, and now 58 is. They still do the same exact thing, but it's interesting they inverted. And then they both just stop. All right. So let's look. Why wouldn't he stop? Do me a favor. 58 and 53. Somebody put 58 and 53 in the chat for me. Because I have no memory. I'm going to forget by the time we get up here. I want to look at some ratings. We're going to have some ratings accountability. Thank you, Derek the Diesel. All right. Who thinks number 53, based on his willingness to stand there at the line of scrimmage, would have the lesser zone coverage rating? Put number 1 if you think he would have the lesser rating. I have no idea. I haven't looked. So we're going to learn together right about now. We are learning on the fly. I don't see, well, okay, I see an overwhelming amount of people that think he would have the lower rating. So now we're about to find out. This is a big deal. If you're playing Madden Ultimate Team and you're looking at how defenders play zone, this is critical. This is critical zone knowledge. Does it really matter? Does it really matter? They both played like trash anyway. I'm not going to lie to you. I got to go back and figure, was it 58? Yeah, 58. All right. Joe Schobert. Let's see what his zone rating is. Somebody be prepared to type his zone rating in there too, because I ain't going to remember it. Zone rating. Look at all these things. What does all this mean? He's got a 90 play recognition. He has a 90 play recognition, and when I move that receiver, he didn't budge. What is he recognizing? He's got a 73 zone. I'm telling you right now, I think that 90 play recognition is going to be real hard to beat. Real hard to beat. So, okay, he's got 90, somebody type this in there. 90 play recognition, 73 zone. 90 play recognition. You know, one of those ratings adjusters was watching all kinds of footage, and they were like, ooh, that Schobert kid, he really knows what's going on. Well, okay. Now in the game, now let's take a look at Kirksey. Who thinks it's going to be lower? Does anybody genuinely, if you genuinely think it's going to be higher, let me know. Just say, I think it is going to be higher. He'd be like the best defender on the team. Man, I'm scared of that 90 play recognition. It's the moment of truth. The moment of truth is about to happen. It's got to be up here somewhere. 85. 85, what's his zone? 57. What was the other one? How can I not remember like two numbers? 73 zone. Wow, that's 7. So he's got 57 zone. Schobert had 73, so that's a quarter difference. He's a quarter worse in zone, and he's 5 less in play recognition. And not only did they play just about as bad, I would say Schobert played worse because he stood there the whole time. So now that we have actual facts on these two, we'll go back and we'll run this again. Because now I feel enlightened. I feel like I should be looking at things differently. Let's take a look at... That corner was on at that time. That was the first time. He must have known. He was like, listen, if this guy went to the rating screen, I better step it up. He's going to ball out on us. No, he's not. Never mind. False alarm. All right, let's go back. Let's go back and look at these numbers. 90 play recognition. I guess. Does that mean he recognizes the zone faster? What is this? I'm not trying to be mean to Madden. I'm literally trying to understand how one player is a quarter better than the other, and one of them has a 90 play recognition. This is what's a 2 play recognition? What's a 10 look like? Is he not on the field at that point? Does he stay on the sidelines? He can't recognize there's a play that he needs to be involved in? That's a 90 play recognition. And that's a 57 zone. That's a pretty good zone coverage until he totally just confuses himself and stops. I'm being honest with you guys. If I didn't know their ratings, I would never have guessed. 53 to me, if he's a better zone player, he should at least understand that Ebron is behind him and move. And if he's so bad in the zone, why is he so eloquently following Jack Doyle? I mean, he literally has Doyle shut down until right there. And the ball is pretty much being thrown anyway. So you could say that he literally limits me throwing the ball to Doyle. Now, granted, these shenanigans are what causes me to throw to the open receiver. But where did his corner go this time? He ran into Mo Alley Cox is what oh, jeez. Watch that get the video flagged. He ran into Mo Alley, we'll call him. That's not good. That is not good. Well, listen, I don't want to say the ratings don't mean anything. We just can't tangibly figure out what they mean. So let's not be so negative, guys. We'll do it again. Look at that elongated. Oh, wow. What is that, a 5-yard animation? Look at that elongated animation. Somebody in one of the comment sections rewrote a Jimmy Buffett song about Madden being Animationville. I'm tempted to pay like a country singer to do it. You have to take into account that even the best players can't make every play. Are you serious with that, Kylan? I'm just checking. I don't believe 53 is in a spy, no. But I like how you got my name read. It jumped out. We got more important things right now. Kylan's telling me the players can't always make the play. Did you guys intimidate Kylan where he won't say anything? First of all, it's practice. Practice, man. We're talking about practice. Okay, everyone can make a mental mistake, Kylan. I'm not saying that at all. But every single play, you're off the field. And the fact that they're rated like this isn't a mental mistake. This is just. I mean, somebody show me this in real football. Somebody show me where in a zone. Or even if he is spying the quarterback, we'll find out. If he's spying the quarterback, I didn't want to look. I got sidetracked. I wanted to look at that animation. It would be so great if it didn't take so long. I mean, I know it's like an 8-second play, and that animation there is so clunky. And you can actually tell right when I get control snap back to me. Right there. Right there when I turn on a dime. I mean, that's how I expect all tight ends to cut. Like that. If he's a spy, he would be moving with the quarterback. Well, you know what? He is moving with the quarterback. Maybe he isn't spy. I don't know. But it's still terrible that he plays that way. He's also moving pretty well with the quarterback. Maybe that's that 90 play recognition. How did I get sacked there? How did I get sacked there? Yeah, he may be in spy. He definitely, I would say he's in spy, but that doesn't account for the ridiculousness of what he's doing. See, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. Ooh, that's brutal. I'm going to run over there and then throw the ball that way. He should be able to pick up that I'm throwing the ball. I can't take him out of spy. I'm on offense. I can't control both sides. I'm going to roll over there with him, which should drag him across the field, and see if he will go with me and defend that pass. That's as fair as we can make it. I can't roll that fast. You know what? We're going to try it with TY. We're gonna drag TY across. I'm gonna roll over with him and see if I can't make him defend TY Hilton. Nope. No, I can't. See? So, oh geez, somebody got speared. I mean, I believe that I believe in the concept of spying the quarterback, but I don't believe in this. That is just a little bit ridiculous. I want to see how close can I get that pass to him? I mean, that's so intuitive for him to react. And he does nothing. And these two, I want to see if I can get him to react. So now we know the trick. The trick is to roll over with him. I guess I got to throw it way in advance. Blue 40, ready to hit. Okay. That one might have been right to him. You know what tripped me up is he got chucked in his zone. He got chucked in his zone, and the heck if I didn't find it right in that zone. And anyway, so okay, let's say without a shadow of a doubt, he's in QB spy. At what point does he get out of QB spy and actually play football? When I throw the ball is when he should react. He literally is squatting here. So even when we know what the defense is doing, you can still manipulate it. Even though we couldn't make total sense of it, because it really was just random plays. So now you mean to tell me that he's that hard pressed. He's that hard pressed on quarterback spy that even after you throw the ball dead at him, he gets out of the way of the ball because that's the pass. I don't know what you guys are asking me to do. I don't know what more I can do. We literally just determined the way the play actually is broken, and then I threw it right out of defender. I'm gonna try to get it the other way. I guess I can't get it with. I'm trying to read, but I can't listen because it's all text, guys. I'm looking at the comment section right now. Don't do anything. Break the game. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's what we've engineered. I guess I feel better about his horrid zone rating, but it doesn't make up for anything else. So what rating would QB Spy be? Sorry, I heard something weird outside. All right. So if we load up the Browns and we go to... All right. None of those. Elusiveness. It's all offensive stuff. Play action would be offense. Well, we already looked at his play recognition. It was 90. It was like the highest we had. Play recognition, 90. It wouldn't be any of these blocking. So are we all in agreement that perhaps the only thing that it could be would be play recognition? I wonder if he has the highest recognition on the team. Can you do all here? You used to be able to do all. But of course not. That would make it easy. Let's just take a look at the safeties and corners. Not that they're going to be spying the quarterback in most situations, but it would be pursuit? I don't know that it would be pursuit. I think pursuit's one thing. Even if it's pursuit, he squatted when I threw the ball at him. So I mean, I'm going to go on a limb and say he's got the highest play recognition on the whole defense in terms of the secondary. Let's see if they play differently if we move the ball. We'll do one play at the 20, and then we'll do one play like at the other 20. No. I will say the interesting thing here is if we can come to the conclusion now that he's in quarterback spy, and Kirksey is in zone, because he's certainly not running with the quarterback. The fact that they're doing the same thing is very odd. They end up at the same place, even though they start out in different... Like, they're at the same place right now in terms of being stopped. And clearly, him getting free... Now that we've seen this a number of times, him getting free clearly is much more dependent on Mo Alley bumping into this corner than anything else. Once this happens, so if you literally could learn that key, if you watch that cornerback just jolt right there, he's wide open every time. And you would think that at least some point, Kirksey would react to that. I mean, even though his zone coverage was low, I mean, I guess you can't fault Schobert, even though he's 90. So we'll do that again. He bumped into him again. Offer solutions. It's not my job. I don't know how to fix the game. They don't know how to fix their game. We talked about this yesterday. Clint Oldenburg is a gameplay designer, not a programmer. The guy that works there can't reprogram the game. So why do you think I would be able to? Clint Oldenburg basically can do the same thing I am. They can sit here and they can say, oh, this isn't right, fix it. But if they can't relay it to the actual programmer, it doesn't matter. Sliders is not the solution. Sliders do not fix programming. If there's a programming slider you know of in the game, let me know. We're going to move TY and see if he reacts any different. No. What slider would you propose fixes this? I think we've discussed at length, I don't buy this game. Can I get to sliders here? Where would, let's see. Where would sliders be? The pass block sliders. Are you being legitimate with me, or are you just saying random stuff? Pass block sliders are going to affect QB spy and zone defenses. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot, but you just have to. Giving examples after saying give solutions isn't a true assistance there, DB Supernova. I don't even know what play I was in because I went random. If I go to random... Oh, I didn't want to do that. How do I get back to that play? Let me think. Choose new play. Those are not any of the plays that we just ran. Why would it not be in my recent plays if we just ran it? I'm trying to think of what happened on that play. Coverage sliders don't affect... Okay, we're done. You're just saying random sliders now. Coverage sliders don't affect QB spy. I would recommend that you go and talk to the coach that benched you in high school and say, you did the right thing with me because I don't know what I'm talking about. That's what I would recommend you do today or tomorrow. Send him an email and tell him he did a good job benching you. Tell him it was justified. It was a justified benching. You might have argued it at the time, but as time has went on, his decision was justified to bench you. I'm sure as you got benched, you sat there and said, but coach, position sliders. The same thing the dev did to me. You mean when Clint Oldenburg drew a full defensive line on the board and said, how would you block this? And it's impossible to block it. And I started a scheme, and he goes, well, you can't block it because there's too many people. And I looked at him and he said, well, yeah, I never played offensive line. I never had to design a blocking scheme. The same way if I ever asked him how to cover a cornerback or cover a receiver, he wouldn't know how to do it. Well, if you've been watching me for 10 years, you should probably be a little bit smarter about how to approach me. You're absolutely offering a different perspective. You're offering a different perspective of change things that we know won't work to try to fix a problem that we know can't be solved. So anyway, I congratulate your coach. He's a gentleman and a scholar. I hope he let you down easy. Easier than I did. Okay. I mean, if you want to say I'm entitled, okay. I know I started over players that were better than me. They probably said the same thing you did. If the sliders, just one final point on the sliders. If the sliders fix the game, don't you think EA would implement a tuning setup to have the game fixed via sliders? If it really changed the whole way the game played, don't you think that they would sit down there with their game changer program or whoever was involved in this game and reverse engineer the game, since essentially that's what we're asking to do, reverse engineer the game through sliders to make it play correctly? Don't you think rather than a dev cycle, they would all just sit down there and lollygag around with sliders until they got it perfected? And then instead of actually do what they normally do, come out with all the, here's what we added, but then say they would come up with a catchword, right? It would be like reborn gameplay, the rebirth engine or something, right? And it wouldn't actually be a new engine. It would just be a whole bunch of slider sets. But they would make some, I think if you wrote ignorance at its finest, I think that's just, are you self-defining? I didn't know Russ changed his username, but maybe he did. Anyway, now that I backed out, I can't find the play that I was looking for, but... All right, well, everybody go over to DB Supernova's channel. He's going to have his own live stream. He's going to go through all the sliders. And listen, I know you're not trolling me now. I'm recommending people go check you out. I'm being serious, too. Go over to DB Supernova's channel. He's going to have a full breakdown of sliders and how you can fix the pass rush and the zone defense by adjusting the pursuit slider and the sideline slider. And what we need to do is get all that information directly over to EA so they can use his slider masterpiece set to fix this game, because he's got all the answers. The whole time we've been looking for the answers. The whole time we've been looking for the answers, and he's at them. And I'm a little bit disappointed that he's been on my channel 10 years, has all the solutions, and never brought them to the table before a live stream at 12:30 at night on a Saturday. Seems a little bit irresponsible to me, but, you know. This is the side of me you guys normally don't get to see in a 3-minute video. Is zone worse or man-to-man? I don't know. They're equally as bad. We literally just saw some horrible gameplay. I'm very disappointed that I can't find my play. I'm removing the chat, so someone monitor DB's responses to me if you don't mind. I know we had a play action. So we know that the tight end was clearing across the field. We know that the halfback was going up to block. I did not boot. TY. See, this one I wish I could see the chat, because one of you are probably saying there was no 3-receiver set. I apologize to anybody watching this back, because you're probably like, man, this guy's channel is horrible. It's not the boot, it's not the scissors, it's not the double dig. How many play-action passes are there? Look at all of them. You know, none of them work right. Trying to find my play. How can I call average negative 0.2 yards? That can't be right. Okay, wait a second. Single wing pair, primary T.Y. Hilton, concept Portland, both of the tight ends cross. The one receiver clears out. That has to be it. It has to be play action center shot. All right. So the defense... Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the microphone there. The defense was... We didn't have a blitz. We played... I'm trying to remember. There's no blitz, so we'll just do any cover one. We'll do the you know what? The linebacker was dropping back in the middle. We'll do cover one hole. I don't know why I'm asking like we're going to disagree, because you guys I can't see what you're saying, but we're going to do cover one hole. I'm going to bring the chat back up. And you're probably going to be overwhelming, just dogging me on the plays. Can somebody tell me what plays they were? Did you guys really argue the whole time I was doing that? Listen, this I think is the same. This looks like the same defensive set. We're about to find out in a minute. I don't know. To me, that looks like the same defense. I can't change the defense. I'm on offense. That's the same defense. The linebacker is still quote-unquote spying, and now we know he's not set to spy because it's a cover one. Guys, I mean, if that's not the same defense, I don't know what to tell you. That's the same play. Now, you saw neither of those, they were random plays before, so I literally had to go back and think about the routes and what we watched. If somebody can review the video, well, it is a little serious, Mill Creek, because if we know if we know that linebacker isn't playing a spy, then that's pretty detrimental. If this really is supposed to be man coverage on someone, they did invert though. They did invert each other. Let's run TY across and see if they change anything. So TY is going to go from there to there. We'll see if he runs across those zones the way he did before. Sure does. And the defensive back stops. It's actually worse now because I've got more open field to work with. The computer cannot do cannot do adjustments that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. It's practice mode. I'm not saying it's the same defensive play. We literally just had to sit here and guess. You're right. The linebacker is now manning off the line, the halfback. But this stays the same. This movement here actually stays the same. And you know what's funny is he was much higher rated in zone, in play reaction, and he still does this. Before, we basically had blamed it on 58 doing that because he was so low rated with his rating, his awareness, and his zone coverage. But now that we know that Schobert is the most play recognitioned player on the field, this should not be happening. And there's no one down here, right? Yeah. There's no one down there. The only one he'd really have to worry about would be the halfback, who technically is assigned to the linebacker now. So he crushes this play out. Absolutely crushes that play. There's Eric Ebron being for real, though. At least they don't run into each other on this one. We'll see how many times he does that. How many times can he make that unbelievably hard to read?
Ready! 12. Hey, Foxtrot!
Oh, that time he caught his own corner up. That time he caught his own corner up. So, okay. If he's playing zone here, and he comes off Jack Doyle, and he knows that he's going to play underneath for TY, why is he running down there to get in the lane that he knows is going to be occupied by another defender? why would he even run down? If you're playing this in real life, you're not running toward the receiver. You're trying to get up the field. He literally puts himself down there to pick his own player. If that was a receiver, that would be illegal. Solutions. Yeah, okay, here's the solution. Here's the solution. This is probably where you got told to go sit on the bench, Junior. When you're playing against someone that's faster than you, okay, you don't run down toward them and give them ground back. You start to go back up here. That way you can keep them in front of you. When you run down the field, which is the opposite of what you're taught to do, things like this happen. Oh, I ran into my own player, and now look what happens. The fastest player on the field is now in front of us. And guess who's going to get in trouble when you go to the bench? Guess who's going to get yelled at? You. They're going to say, what are you doing? And they're going to say, you know what? You can think about this while you're sitting on the bench beside the defensive coach. And this guy is going to be just as mad because he's going to say, dude, I was running full speed trying to catch T.Y. Hilton. You cut right in front of me, and I seriously could have hurt myself running into you. That's what these guys are reacting to right here. That's what these two dudes are thinking right now. They're thinking, why in the world did he do that? Why did he just run? We've talked about this in practice, guys. We've talked about this in the film room. Don't cut in front of each other. And here you are doing it. That's what the coach is saying. Coach is saying, use your head. Don't run into it. Don't run into other people. How many times we went over this? 64 is like, bro, put me in the game. Put me in the game. I won't run into people, coach. He's like, look at how mad he gets. He's like, coach, I told you, put me in the game. I won't run into other people. I'm too big. T.Y.'s like, yeah, keep doing that every time. So players never accidentally collide each other in real life. Well, I tell you what they don't do. They don't run into each other every single time trying to check out of a zone. We'll just have fun with it a couple more times, then I'll get off here. Yeah, here's what doesn't happen. Here's what doesn't happen every single time in real football. If this happens every single time, you literally will be benched. Because you not only are doing things incorrectly, but you're going to hurt your teammate. If you do this stuff, you are going to hurt your teammate every time. Because guess what? He's not looking for you. If you've ever ran into a teammate, that hurts him and you because neither of you were even braced for it. So yeah, you have players colliding, you don't have players colliding because your teammate just stops in front of you because he's going to retreat to his zone for no purpose. And if you guys played Pop Warner football, if you played flag football, you're taught this stuff. You play flag football, you're going to have somebody's parents come over and yell at you for stopping in front of their kid. I didn't change it that time. But that's okay. Because he ain't going to react to anything. Even Andrew Luck running downfield. Players run together all the time, they said. Look at how once he's missed it, he tries to regain all that ground. This is the funniest one. Imagine putting this on tape. Just imagine putting it. You're the defensive player with the highest recognition. Imagine putting this on tape for a coach. You screw up, and then look. Oh, I've got to make all that ground back. Well, you wouldn't have to make all that ground back up if you hadn't just stopped. I got to hurry up. I got to accelerate. Coach is going to be mad. Whew. Spectacular. He made... I tell you, what he lacked in reading the play, he made up for in pursuit. He makes a full U. Does he literally put his hands up in the air like, what am I doing? No, but these guys in the back are going hard in the paint. They're tired of seeing it. The coach turns his back. This guy over here, number 77, he's like, bro, how many times are you going to run into our own player? Punter's in the corner puking. And the coach is just seeing enough. He's kicking the ground. He's like, you know what? This is enough. This is enough of running into each other. Number 80 likes it. He's like, yeah, I like that. If the Colts... All right, because I did promise I'd move the ball. We'll move the ball, and then we'll do one or two. Just remember, this is only my copy of Madden. I'm sure if you guys get a copy, it isn't going to be this way. Now, this is totally different. They're giving up touchdowns now. They're giving up touchdowns now. They just gave up back-to-back touchdowns. You guys have it on a little bit of a delay. I mean, it's all I can do not to laugh, really. So here's our buddy Kirksey, over-concerned about Marlon Mack, clears out the lane. All right, Ebron runs back behind him. I get this elongated tackle animation. But Mitchell's actually back here playing T.Y. Hilton, who's out of the back of the end zone. T.Y. runs his curl 3 yards past. So you got to defend against that because, it's not like he can legally catch the pass now or anything, if the pass already hadn't been caught for that matter. So he runs back there, says, all right, if you're going to run out of bounds, I'll do it with you. And then literally just lets it happen. It's in the game. I'm gonna do one more with Ty just because he's one of my favorite players, and I just want him to get a touchdown before it's all over. And now we definitely know how it can be achieved. We just gotta wait right there. Oh, I didn't get it off, but that's okay. I'll get. He was wide open. We'll make this right. Stops on a dime, leaves it wide open. Oh, didn't get in there. Did somebody is somebody saying get good? Could I sell Madden tips? Is that what I should have been doing this whole time? Selling Madden tips? Just pick 2 random plays, watch it happen a couple times, and know how to manipulate the game. I think I missed my calling with these live streams. These live streams should have just been about breaking gameplay. Yeah, I honestly feel like somebody probably would have paid pretty good money for that. Now I got a run play check. The sad thing is you can literally load this game up, and if you just go back and watch. And I mean, this information I get for free. Go back and watch. I'm done. That was a touchdown. We'll go back and see it one more time. Go back and watch the last few of these I've done if you really want to spend 4 hours analyzing football and Madden. And you'll see this right here. It's just all night. Whether we were in the middle of the field, either end zone, or even worse, down at the goal line, this is what happens. Now, I hate to say it, I could have done a 3-minute video on this, but you guys made me turn this into an hour and 20-minute diatribe. And T.Y. still didn't reach him for the end zone. We all know that. But luckily, that animation pulled me in. What a mess. What a mess of a game. I mean, I'm blown away that the programming like that happens, you know, just to let that happen. Somebody programmed that in the game. That's the craziest thing. Somebody said it doesn't matter who this player is, and it doesn't matter who's clearing in front of him. Make sure he peels back and gets into that zone and then has to recover. This corner right here, trust me, he is absolutely irate. He is going right over to Joe Schubert and being like, bro, what are you doing? And don't ever do it again. He's walking off the field. He knows he messed up. Look, going right to the bench. That's the most realistic part of the play. He's like, you know what? You ain't even got to call me over, coach. I'm done. I'm just going to go over here. 23 is like, I ain't playing with that man no more. He doesn't know what he's doing. Don't ever say I didn't say anything positive about the game. Right there it was. He walked right off there. You know you're in trouble when you walk off the field like that. Head down, arms low, just gave up a touchdown. So I'll give you guys about 3 minutes here, and then I got to get out of here. It's literally 1 a.m. I thought a woodland creature was breaking into the house 45 minutes ago. I should have checked on it then, but I didn't. Yeah, I'm telling the coach. No, the coach is telling him he retired. He's like, I can't deal with players like this no more. I'm done. I'm retiring. You got somebody else coaching you. This is the new X factor. It's called in practice retirement. Player just realizes he doesn't have it, like Reggie Wayne did with the Patriots. When Reggie went through a couple practices, it was like, listen, I ain't built for this. And he said, I'm just going to go ahead and retire. That's exactly what happened to Joe Schobert. He was like, listen, I'm done. I've had this guy for the past hour and a half run these routes on me, and I don't know how to cover it. I can't defend it. All I've done is give up touchdowns. I'm turning in my card. Somebody send this to Joe Schobert. You have all these players upset with Madden. Send this to him. He'll be mad. Trust me. Vontae Davis did in a game, though. Vontae Davis realized in a game he was done. Joe Schobert had a practice. He had a bad practice. I don't know when the next stream's going to be, Brian. Believe it or not, these are more fun than doing a breakdown video, but you guys probably get a lot more of my personality. I think at some point that's going to be a detriment to my monetization. Not my fault the Colts have to have the player whose name is, Mo Alley, that. And to be honest with you, I know these are tough to watch because the quality isn't good, so I'm not sitting to put you guys through this, looks like it's filmed on a potato because of my internet. But anyway, you guys work on these slider sets. You let me know when you've got it fixed. I would suggest starting out with player intelligence and move that all the way to the top. I don't know about more animations, man. I think you guys are about to find out the hard way with some of these games you keep asking for more animations in. Every problem that we have with Madden can literally be attributed to animations. And yet, when we look at independent games, the first thing we say is they don't look good enough. They need more animations. So, for all the people that say we're negative reinforcing things, imagine going to the independent company that gives you all the player motion that you want, but lacks a lot of refinement and control, and saying, give me more animations, while arguing that the other game has way too many animations and you have no control. We're sending giant mixed messages. Well, player logic is a big thing, but what you have to understand and what we've talked about is I can't fix this game the same reasons Clint Oldenburg can't fix this game, the same reasons that, Mutt or Equipment Guru can't fix this game. I'm not a programmer. They're not programmers. I don't speak programming. I can show them what's wrong, and if they can't code it out, then there's nothing I can do. I can show them for 10 years. Oh, that's right, I have. And if they can't fix it there, they can't fix it there. And that's all there is to it. Other than that, I'm not a big conspiracy theory person, but I will say You guys all know that the Game Changer program gets a lot of perks, gets a lot of benefits, gets to go to EA, gets to get free copies of the game, give away to their fans, give away 20, 30, 40 copies, all that stuff. I'm sure they get, juice boxes and snacks when they head down there. I get unlimited content every year. EA must love me to the point they don't want me to stop making these videos. So personally, I feel like that's a little bit more endearing than a snack pack and a plane trip. Because I can take care of myself on the plane trip. No shade to Eric Rayweather. I love Eric. He's going to be on my channel. You guys are going to have a tough time. You guys are going to have a tough time when Eric comes on my channel. Save all that energy. I'm sure Clint Oldenburg read an NFL rulebook, but I don't know how he told them to program those linemen to run past the line of scrimmage and then moonwalk back to block. All right, I didn't want to go past one. You guys have left 1,000 comments in this comment section. Now I'm checking my email. I don't know, man. Me and Eric, honestly, I'm trying to let every commentator, Cookie Boy, all these people that want on my channel, and I want them on my channel, I'm trying to let them get all the commentary they want out, and then we'll have plenty of time throughout the year to collaborate. I don't want to hold anybody back. I don't want to be held back myself, so I'm trying to do the right thing. So again, man, I appreciate every one of you that supports me. Supports me on Patreon, supports me by coming out, watching the live streams, subscription. I just hit 28,000 for those of you guys don't know. I can't do that on my own. So one last question, Mill Creek. Go ahead. I can only imagine what it is, my bud. Do I think the Jaguars can beat the Colts? Now listen, you guys all cornered me yesterday and asked me if I thought the Titans were going to beat the Colts, and I said yes, because the Titans usually play us tough. Now I think we all know there's somebody in our community that's endeared to the Jaguars, so it's probably in my best interest to not talk trash on the Jaguars, so I will refer you to the history books on what happens when the Colts play the Jaguars. And I will tell you that Nick Foles, or whoever else they get on their team, does not matter. They may have cooler looking uniforms, but they usually don't have a higher score at the end of the game. And that's all there is to it. Andrew Luck is already back. I don't know that it's ever going to be Andrew Luck's year, man. I'm happy with Andrew Luck just playing and being healthy. When you go through 2 years of backup quarterbacks, you have a newfound appreciation for watching a game where you say, you know what, we might be able to win this. Because for about 3 years, I was like, well, hopefully we don't lose by 2 touchdowns. So, as somebody that spent a lot of time, hurt as an athlete, I don't wish any player to get hurt. Whether they're a Patriot, a Colt, Jaguar, a Titan, doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. So I'm just happy that I'm happy that he's healthy. He can play football. He can do what he loves. And you know what? Maybe a couple Sundays he can put a smile on my face. So it's so much more important to me that he's out there doing what he wants to do. We have a great offensive line. Don't let Madden fool you. I said yesterday, I believe this is the best offensive line we've had since 2005, and I think, 2005 back to maybe 2001, you've got some of the best guys. I mean, Tarek Glenn and Jeff Saturday, Hall of Famers, I think for sure. So I worry about, you know what? Here's the worst thing, man, since you mentioned Darius. If there's one player that I really worry about injuries with, it's Darius Leonard. I don't know why. I just do. All right, guys. I shut the chat off after that because you know what you'll do. You'll keep me here until 2:30 in the morning. I'm not trying to do it. So I appreciate everybody coming out, and we'll do this again real soon. I got regular videos coming up. I thank every one of you. Obviously, wouldn't have a channel, wouldn't be successful, wouldn't be able to do the things I do without it. So thank you for all your time tonight. You could be doing whatever you want to do, and instead you're sitting here watching me play football and joke about Madden. So I will be back in the week with more commentary.